Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yusuf. I will show you this afternoon how Mendeley works. Um, it looks like there's a lot of people here this afternoon. I thought that referencing was an easy thing to do. But I think one of the most daunting tasks for any researcher or postgraduate student, or any student for that matter, is the referencing. Okay, so that's why we're here this afternoon. I'm going to show you how Mendeley can help you with your intake citations and with your referencing. And also, we're going to start off with the online version, and I'm going to demonstrate to you what the online version is, and then we can hop on to the desktop version. People, today's session, normally Mendeley session will take 2 hours. But today's one is slightly microwaved. So we only have an hour, and I'm going to sort of run through everything, but I will spend a lot of time with the desktop version, because that is the version you're most going to use anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly run through the online version. So what I want you to do is please log in, username and password. Make sure your INET key is open, because for the first part, we're going to use internet, but don't be alarmed after you've mastered Mendeley, then you're not going to need internet anymore. Because when you work from home, you're going to have the desktop version, and you don't need internet actually. Okay. What I want you to do is just make sure that you sign the register. Just pass it along, make sure that everybody signs the register. Okay, so what I want you to do now is, if you're ready, you can go to any web browser, and you can actually, I'm just going to open up any web browser, and I'm going to Google, like a good librarian. I'm going to Google, right, and in Google, I'm going to type in Mendeley. Okay, so within Google, I'm just going to type in the word Mendeley. And I'm going to enter. Now, people, Mendeley is a free reference manager. Okay, I'm emphasizing it's a free reference manager. You get 2 gig space free on Mendeley, and with Mendeley, you don't have to be affiliated to any institution. So once you leave the university, you still have access to your references. It's got nothing to do with Stellenbosch University. Okay. Also, people, part of today's session is, for the last 5 minutes of my presentation, I'm going to show you how to migrate from RefWorks to Mendeley. Reason being, we're ending our subscription with RefWorks. So by the end of the year, those of you who have a RefWorks account will no longer have access to your RefWorks account. Okay, so that's why we're going to do the migration part. It's very easy to do. And from now on, you're only going to use Mendeley. So that's why we're here today. Okay, so let's start off by clicking on the first, Mendeley Reference Management. And those of you who have a RefWorks account, can you please sign in? For those of you who don't have a RefWorks account, you can now create yourself a free account. Okay, so what you do is you click on create free account, and you go through the process. It's very easy. It should take you about 1 minute or so to create a free account. Let me just see by show of hands who doesn't have a Mendeley account. Okay, so we have 2 or 3. Okay, so for those of you, can you just please create a free account with Mendeley? Okay, so click on that button. You can use any email address for your username. As I said, it should take you about a minute or so to create a free account. For the others, please sign in with your Mendeley account. Normally, it's your email address that you use. And then you should be able to sign in with your Mendeley account. While the others are still signing in, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this particular version. Now, it's very important that you notice that Mendeley's got 2 versions. As I said earlier, this is the online version. This is the version where you create your account. This is also the version where you can delete your account if want to do that. But just important, people, when you download the desktop version from your online, from this particular version, it's synchronized with the online version. And also, you can download Mendeley to any other device that you have. So if you have an iPad, smartphone, a tablet, or whatever the case may be, you can download Mendeley on any of those devices. I think you can have 4 or 5 devices. And whatever device you're going to use will synchronize with your online version. And this version is what we call the cloud-based version. Everything is stored in the cloud here, so that's why it can synchronize with any other device that you download the Mendeley desktop version. And for the first part, we're going to need internet for the synchronization, but not on the online version, for the desktop version that we're going to download later on. Okay. Everybody logged into Mendeley? Everybody okay? Everybody's got an account now? Okay. So let me just quickly run through, as I say earlier, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this version. This particular version is also when you do a lot of collaboration. If you are a researcher and you publish a lot of articles, or you're a postgraduate student and you want to collaborate with other researchers worldwide. Also, people, Mendeley is a global tool. Anybody can use it globally. So you are going to collaborate, or if you want to collaborate, you can actually collaborate with anybody in the world. Okay? And I'm quickly going to run through the online version. So the first part that you see there is a feed. If you can look at, where's this thing here on? Oh, there we go. So if you look at the feed, this is the feed of Mendeley. So Mendeley's got a feed option. So all the latest news within Mendeley, you can go down. This is the feed option. So Mendeley will then publish any news on the feed option. And also, it will suggest that other people that you can follow. So it's got like a social media function into it. And it's only available on this version. Then the next one is library, but I'm going to come back to the library. I'm going to go to the suggest button, which is the third one there. So the suggest button is, Mendeley is going to create a profile of yourself. So if you are in medicine and health sciences, in social sciences, psychology, whatever you're going to study, remember people, you're going to download, or you're going to upload references or articles in your Mendeley account. And based on those articles, Mendeley is going to create a profile of yourself. And Mendeley is going to know that you're doing research in psychology. Then, whatever you have in your library, Mendeley is going to detect that. And Mendeley will then suggest other articles for you. So, it will, if you have 50 articles in your library, and there's 5 other articles talking about HIV/AIDS, or for that matter, then under the suggest button, Mendeley will suggest these articles for you without you doing anything. So you don't have to go and search for new articles. You can always go to the suggest button and you can go and look at what Mendeley has there. And you can add, on the online version, you can add these to your library. So you can add this article or the reference to your library. You can get the full text, or you can go and search for similar articles. So it's basically a database, another database that you can go to and go and collect more articles for your research. Okay, the third one is stats. Now, if you are a researcher and you regularly publish articles, you can actually upload your articles that you've published on Mendeley. Then you can go have a look under the stats button. You can go and have a look at who are the people using your research. Okay? Is it postgraduate students? Is it fellow researchers? Where in the world are these people located that actually using your research? So that is what the stats button is there. Then if you are doing postgraduate research and you are working in a group, and then you can actually create a group for yourself, or your supervisor, or if you are a supervisor and you have 5 or 6 PhD students that are working in a group, or master students, and you want them to work together, you can actually create groups. And within Mendeley, you can, I think, you can create five groups. And you can then add people to the groups as well. Okay? And these are the groups that I belong to. These are test groups for myself. And you can actually upload articles to the group. Anybody that you invite and are accepted to the group, they can actually add articles to the groups as well. Okay? Also, people, there is on Mendeley itself, remember Mendeley is a global tool. So on Mendeley itself, you're going to find there is private groups and there are public groups. So the private groups is just for people that belongs to that particular group, and then the public groups are open to anybody. So you can actually join a group if you search for that later on. Okay, and then the data sets. Mendeley also started, I think, last year with the data sets or in this year. So basically, within the research, you generate a lot of data. Okay, and Mendeley has uploaded, this is a free open source, so Mendeley has started this particular program, and you can actually upload your data that you generate within your research. And remember, you can also browse other people's data, and if there is something that you can use on the data repository, then you can download it and use that data. And remember, this is the open source. Okay, so if you upload your data on there, anybody can use it. Then the careers, again, it's a global tool, so you can go and see what careers are there in the world. And as you can see, for arts and humanities, there's biochemistry, agriculture, so you can go and see what careers, if you want to go work in Europe, whatever the case may be, in the East, you can go see what is available there. Okay, so that is basically the online version. Funding, this is new to Mendeley. I think in the last couple of months, Mendeley actually started with the funding, and like the researchers this morning, they emphasize how important funding is. So you can go and see within your discipline what funding is available, and you can simply go and apply. Nothing prevents you to go in here and see if you can apply for funding, okay? And within your specific subject area. So as you can see, Mendeley has got a wide spectrum of tools available to you that you can use. So it's a very nice tool, this online version. Right, last but not least is under search. As you can see there, the search button. There is papers, as I said earlier. You can go and search. It's like a normal database, so you can go and search papers. You can search people. So say for instance, there is a researcher in another part of the world that's doing a lot of research that you are interested in. You can simply type in the name of the person there, the name and the surname, and if that particular person or that researcher is using Mendeley, then you can follow, you can request to follow that particular researcher. And you can actually basically go and see what articles or references that particular researcher is using or in his research as well. Then the groups, as I said earlier, you can create groups, you can go and belong to a group. You can go and search any group there within your subject area, and also the support. I have to say this, that Mendeley support is very, very excellent. You don't wait a long time to get a response from the support team. Also, when you go to the support and you type in a question, if that particular question has already been asked previously, then you get a pre-populated answer. Okay, so if you have a password problem or you have a problem with synchronization, then if you type the word under support, you type in synchronization, then all the questions about synchronization will appear and you get your answer immediately. So there's no waiting period of a week or so that you have to wait for a response. Okay. Then lastly, people, on your far right-hand side, there is a drop-down button. Now, for those of you who are new to Mendeley, you're not going to do it on this computers because it's already been done here. But when you go home to your laptop or your own computer at home, on the online version, you're going to go to that drop-down button there, and it's very important that you click on the download Mendeley. So what's going to happen when you click that button? You don't have to do it here. It's already been done. When you click on that button, you're going to download the desktop version, and that's very, very important. Okay, so those of you who are new to Mendeley, you download the desktop version on your own computer, your own laptop. And you just simply click that. It takes you about 1 minute to download. Okay. Are there any questions on this particular online version before we go to the desktop version? Everybody happy with the... Okay. Good. Right. So when you download the desktop version, you should have an icon on your desktop or at the toolbar at the bottom. So I'm simply going to open up my Mendeley desktop version. And this is the version that you, 99% of the time, people that you're going to spend time with. And you have to... Mendeley has to prompt you on these computers to log in. If Mendeley opens up automatically, it simply means that the person that's previously hasn't logged out of the Mendeley account. So what you need to do is, I'm going to show you what you need to do now. You have to log in, people, otherwise it's somebody else's Mendeley account. So for those of you where Mendeley automatically open, what you need to do is you simply need to go to File, and you sign out. You'll notice that if that is not your email address, then you need to log out. Can you see that? Then you sign up, you simply open up your Mendeley again, and then you log in. And also, people, just remember at this stage, even when you're at home, if you want your Mendeley library to synchronize, you must always have internet access just for the first minute or so. As you can see here, Mendeley is now synchronizing. So whatever, anything new that I've added to my Mendeley account needs to be synchronized with this library, and for that part, you need internet. Okay, so it's just for a minute or so. After your Mendeley desktop has synchronized, then you can switch off your internet. And the same applies for the devices that you have. If you have a smartphone or iPad or tablet for that matter, just for the first part, you need internet, and after that, you can switch it off. Okay. Right. So this is my Mendeley account. And as you can notice, I have a lot of references in my account, and based on how many references you have in your account, you will see that the synchronization button here will take forever and ever and ever. Right, but just leave it like that. Okay, so what is the first thing that you need to do? And I know from experience, a lot of people wants or needs to be organized, so they want to create folders for themselves. Okay, just like your computer desktop that you have, you can create folders or you don't have to. And the simple reason for that is, if you look at this particular button there, it's called All Documents. Now this is a default for Mendeley. Now on this button, everything that you upload into Mendeley will go under the All Documents. Okay, so that's the default. So it doesn't matter how many folders you have within your Mendeley account. You can have 50 or 60 folders here. Everything that is under those folders will automatically go into your All Documents. So by default, you don't need to create folders for yourself. That is personal preference, whatever you want to do. A lot of people like everything in one place, so under All Documents, or you can simply be organized and create folders for yourself. So where do I go to create a folder for myself? I simply click on create folder, as you can see there. And the very nice thing about Mendeley, there's no save button within Mendeley. Okay? Mendeley saves automatically. So if you click on create folder, you can now simply type away and you can name the folder anything that you want. A handy tip that I always give to people is, as you can see the name of the folders here, you can actually name the folders anything that you want. Okay, as you can see from my folders on that side. But the handy tip is to name the folders the same name that you have on your computer desktop. So on your computer desktop, if you have folders where you store all your PDF articles and you have research methodology, you have literature review, you have chapter 1, leadership, management folders, then simply name those folders the same on your Mendeley desktop. Because later on, the next step that I'm going to show you, it's all actually going to make sense. Okay. So what you can do is you can type your folder name and just click away from it, and whatever the name of your folder is will appear on the left hand side, and it is alphabetical. Okay, so on the left hand side. Right. Everybody happy with that? Good. Now, the most important thing is, how do you populate the folder that you have, or how do you populate your Mendeley library? Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do it, and we're going to end up with 4 or 5, I think. I'm going to run through it, and if you have questions about it, you can ask. Okay, so I'm going to go to File. Okay, first select the folder. You first select the folder that you want to populate, right? So you can click on any folder. Okay, let's use, let me create a folder for today. So I'm going to type in Research Week, right? So there's my folder, Research Week. So I'm going to populate my folder called the Research Week. So I'm clicking on the folder. Then what I do is, you can either go to File, okay? You can go to Add Files. And now this is very, very important that you have to know where you stored all your articles, okay? So wherever you stored your articles, whether it's on the flash drive, whether it's on the desktop, doesn't matter. You go and locate your particular folder. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. And Cindy, waar is jou goed? Okay, let's take this one. So I'm going to click on the PDF article. Now presumably that's a PDF article that you have downloaded and you've put it on. You see down the PDF, this one? Oh, down. Okay. Click on that. Then you select the article. Okay. And then you click on Open. And now you notice that you have populated your folder with your article that you now selected from a folder. But that's going to take you a long time to do it one by one. Okay? So let's do it a more easier way. So now you click on File, and now you click on Folder. So you can actually upload articles from a folder. Now, I said earlier, name the folder the same name that you have on your computer desktop. And this is the part where I want to what is very important. So if you add folder, okay, and now remember I said I selected Research Week as my folder. Now because I don't have a folder on my desktop called Research Week, I can now go to any folder, it doesn't matter. And if I go to PDF, I only select the articles from that PDF. And now, this is very important, people. If I select the articles from that folder, only the content of that folder is going to go into my Research Week folder. Okay? So that's why I said earlier, if you have on your computer desktop a folder called ADA Leadership, then on your computer desktop you're going to have the same folder name, so you know that those articles in that particular folder will go into the other. Otherwise you're going to get confused. Now you have PDF articles here, and you don't have PDF articles on your library here. Now you look for the folder PDF articles in your Mendeley library, and unfortunately it's not going to appear because only the content of that folder is going to go into whatever folder you selected there. Does it make sense? Okay. So rather name the same folder names on your library. I think the last two is actually the most easiest. Now, before we go to the other one, this actually, and a lot of students like this, and I know particularly in the first years they like this, it's called drag and drop. Okay? So what you wanted to do now is you have your Mendeley library open. Okay? So you open up your folder where you keep all your articles. So I'm going to go to the folder where I keep all my articles. I open it up. And now I can simply highlight, if there's 50 or 60 articles, it doesn't matter. I can simply highlight, and how do I do that? I click the first one, and I hold shift in, and I can select how many articles. But I'm actually going to do the first, or these two, and then I can simply take those two articles that I've highlighted and drag them over into my Mendeley account. And there's my two articles. Anybody see that? So now I've populated my Mendeley library with articles by simply dragging and dropping them, or I can add a whole folder. But I think the last one is the most easiest and the best of them all. And I think you will agree with me, if I can say so. The last one is called What's Folder, and I think Mendeley's the only reference manager actually that's got this feature. So if you go to File, you can go to What's Folder. Now let's click on What's Folder. Now you can go and select any folder where you keep all your articles. And you can tell Mendeley that you're going to select Albi. Now say my Albi folder is the folder where I keep all my articles. Now remember, people, within research, you're going to have a lot of backups. You're going to have backups on your flash drive, on your computer, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a lot of backups for your research. And say, for instance, this particular article folder, Albi, is your backup folder on your computer desktop. Now you store all your articles in there that you're going to use for your research. By selecting that particular folder, and you click on Apply and OK, you're going to tell Mendeley that Mendeley must monitor that particular folder for yourself. And every time that you put in new articles or references within that folder on your computer desktop, Mendeley is watching that folder for yourself, so it's going to import those articles into your Mendeley library without you doing anything. So that's the best of them all. Okay? So say, for instance, you go to Scopus or Science Direct or Web of Science or to Google Scholar for that matter, and you search articles for today. You tell Mendeley, what's that folder for me? And tonight, you get home, you upload all those articles in your Albi folder. Okay? Then Mendeley will synchronize, it will upload all those articles from that particular folder in your Mendeley account. Okay? Tomorrow your supervisor sends you 10 articles that you have to use in your research. You upload those articles also into your Albi folder, and tomorrow Mendeley will import those articles as well. Okay? So every time that you upload articles in that folder, it's going to go straight into your Mendeley library, and you don't have to do anything. And it will only take the latest articles. If you have articles already in there, it's not going to upload those. So that's why Mendeley monitor that folder for you only uploading the latest articles that you upload in that particular folder. Does it make sense? Okay, good. So that's actually the best of them all, isn't it? Right. So now you have populated your Mendeley library. Okay? Now people, when you upload your Mendeley library, okay, let's do it the other way around. But I'm going to come back to that later on also. Okay, let's leave it. I'm going to come back to that later on as well. And you might have a question about it. But anyway, so you'll notice that when you upload articles within Mendeley, Mendeley works very well with PDF articles. Doesn't work so well with PowerPoints or Word documents, but mostly with PDF articles. And the reason behind that is Mendeley can read the metadata of those PDF articles. So it's an electronic version of an article, academic journal article, and Mendeley can actually read the metadata. Now, as you can see from the ones that I've uploaded now, that Mendeley's actually done that one, it's done that one, and it didn't do that one so well. Okay? Now you'll notice that the first one also, it's got some markings there. It's not so kosher, but anyway. So people, Mendeley is attempting to read the metadata, and most of the time Mendeley actually does very well by reading the metadata. But there are times that Mendeley cannot actually read that metadata for you. And that is not Mendeley's fault. I'm going to demonstrate that now to you. Okay, and also people, very, very important that you have to make sure that all your references are correct. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about that. So, the first one you'll see, Mendeley has read the metadata there, the second one, but not so the last one. So these are articles that I've just uploaded just now. So, the first one, we have author. So Mendeley has got the author there, it's got the title, it's got the year the article was published in, and the journal that particular article was published in. But it didn't do the second one. The second one has got this, the author's name, the title of the article, the year, and it didn't include the journal name. And so the last one is actually the worst of them all. But there's a reason behind it, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But people, this is very, very important, that you have everything correct here. And this has got to do with referencing. Now, if it's a journal article, then all of those need to be present, okay? Very, very important. Within research, you should know how referencing works. So for a journal article, author's title, year the article was published in, and the journal that particular article was published in. But if it's a book, all you need for a book is a journal, an author name and a title, and you don't need a published in. So for all practical matters, if that was a book, then it should be okay, because you don't need the published in, right? So just keep that in mind. So if anything on this, on your library, what your references within your library is incorrect, like say for instance the last one, Mendeley gives you the option to search. So what Mendeley is actually telling you is do a search, so Mendeley will then attempt to read that particular data as well. Okay, so we're going to click on search and see what happens. And then Mendeley tells you it actually can't read the metadata of the article. Okay? So that's the first part. If you click on one of the other articles, and this is the second step that you have to do, if you find one of the catalog IDs present here, like the DOI, ISBN, ISSN, one of those on your right hand side, you can click on the hourglass if there's an hourglass next to it. Okay? So what you're doing with the corrections is you first ask Mendeley if Mendeley can correct the metadata for you. So next to the DOI, I have an hourglass, so I can click on that. Okay? So I click that button, and then let's see what happens with this particular one. So Mendeley has now actually said that that particular article is correct, the metadata is correct, so I can be happy with that particular one, okay? But now, as you can see, it's still got that funny marks there, okay? So people, if you click on any of these references in the middle, it will open up this page on the right-hand side. And this is your editing page. So anything that is incorrect in the middle, you can actually edit it on this side. So how do you edit it? You simply click next to whatever field you want to edit on that side. So say for instance, I'm going to show you the last one if I type in there. But let's correct that first one and take those funny markings out there. So all I need to do is I can simply click on it. On the right hand side, I can delete it. Okay? I can click on that side and I can delete it. And again, people, Mendeley doesn't have a save button. It saves automatically. And as you can see now, those markings has disappeared. Okay? So if you need to add a name of a journal on this side here, or the title, or whatever the case may be, you simply click on the reference. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click on the last one. And if I need to add a title, as you can see there, you simply click next in the title box there, and then you can correct whatever title needs to be in there. Okay? You can type in whatever title needs to be there. Right, and as you can see now, in the middle, there's the corrections in the middle. Okay? If you need to add a journal name, you simply click on the right hand side next to the journal name, and you can say Journal of Science. There it is, and it will appear in the middle. People, this is very, very important. If you want to use Mendeley successfully, it is important that you have to have your references correct in the middle. Okay? And as I said, you need to know referencing. What is a journal? What is a book? How do you reference a web page? How do you reference a thesis? How do you reference all of those? Because if you look on the right-hand side, if you do any of the editing on the right-hand side, you have to also select the type. Okay? So if it's a book, then you're going to click on that drop down there, over there. Next to type, you click on the drop down, and then you can select any of those. So the reference that you're using, you will need to know if it's a web page, a journal article, it's a book, whatever the case may be. And you select one of the types on that side, and based on the type that you select there, you fill in the fields, you populate the fields on this side here. Now people, that's very, very important, because later on when we do going into Word, I'm going to quickly show you how that works. Right, so people, very, very important that you do the corrections. Okay, now let's go to Tools. Now the next one that you have to do is click on Install Web Importer. You don't have to do this on these computers. It's already been done for you. But for your own computer at home, you click on the Web Importer. And it doesn't matter what browser you're using, there is, for the different browsers, there are options available. Then the other thing that you also have to do, and this is also important, is you have to install the MS Word plugin. Otherwise, when you use it in Word, nothing is going to appear. Okay, so that's the other step that you have to do is install the MS Word plugin. The third thing that you have to do is you have to now go and select your output style that you're going to use, or your referencing style. Okay? So you go to View, and then you go down to Citation Style. On your right-hand side, you'll see the popular styles. If your referencing style is not on there, you can go and search for other styles. Okay? And for those of you who also need to write journal articles, if you use different journals use different referencing styles. You can simply do this. So on your right hand side, you go down to More Styles. You click on More Styles here. And your installed ones will be up here. Okay? If you need to select a different style, you select the second tab and Get More Styles there. and now you can type away. Now say for instance we need to install this Stellenbosch Harvard style. You can simply type in Stellenbosch or any name for that matter, Vancouver, whatever the case may be, you can type it in. And when you get your particular style, you can simply click on it and you can tell Mendeley to install it. Remember, when you get home, you might not have the style, so you have to install it. Mine says use the style because I've already installed this particular style. And then you go back to your installed ones and you go and select the style here, the one that you've just uploaded, and then you click on use the style. So basically I'm going to tell Mendeley that I want to use that particular style, and I click on done after I'm finished. Right. The next step that we have to do is, I nearly forgot about this. You'll notice that for you that is new with Mendeley, that Mendeley's got PDF articles. If you double click on any of those articles, it will open up the PDF for you. So if I double click on the first one, it will open up the PDF for you. And those of you who like to annotate and read online and are familiar with Adobe, you'll see that the toolbar right up there, it's got all those features. Okay, so you can highlight, you can add colors, you can add a sticky note. So anywhere in the text that you want to annotate your article or you want to highlight, you can use those buttons up there. And also, when you analyze a journal article or whatever, and you work in a group, or you want to send the annotations to your supervisor, you can simply export it with the annotations, with the highlights, with the notes to your supervisor if he's also using Mendeley, or anybody else that's using Mendeley. So whatever changes you've made to one of those journals and you've annotated it, you can simply then send it to anybody else that's using Mendeley. Just before we go to the Word, I just want to open up here. Now, whatever browser you're going to use, remember I imported the web importer. Okay, so that feature works very well with Scopus and Science Direct. So if you use that particular feature, it works very well with Scopus. So when you're in Scopus or Science Direct, you get your results list. I don't have time to demonstrate that now, but it works very well. Then you can simply select that, and you can then export directly from Scopus and Science Direct, directly from them into your Mendeley account. But this also works very well with Google Scholar. So I'm going to type in Google Scholar, and I'm just quickly going to search within Google Scholar, because I know a lot of students or people like to use Google Scholar. So I'm just going to type in whatever I can. And now you'll see, based on your results list that you get here. Now remember, with other reference managers, you have to select one by one. Also, Google Scholar doesn't allow you to access more than one reference at a time. But because you uploaded the web importer here, when you click on that button, you will now be able to export these references, multiple references at a time. Okay? So as you can see on my right hand side, when you use that web importer, it actually mirrors the results list that you have here. And you can simply select any of those or all of them, and you can export it directly to your Mendeley account. Okay? And what's nice about this is also all the PDFs on your Google Scholar that is free of charge will also export with that particular reference to your Mendeley account. But as I say, don't forget, it works very well with Scopus and Science Direct. So once you're in Scopus or Science Direct and you do a search within Scopus and Science Direct, you'll get the same result like this, and you'll get all the PDFs within Scopus and Science Direct that you can actually export to Mendeley. Right, so what I want you to do now is I want you to open up a Word document. So I'm just going to open up a Word document. And what I want you to do now is just get some text into your Word document, whatever text you can find, and get it into your Word document. Now, okay, we have 5 more minutes. So, what I want you to do now is this is what Mendeley is good for. If you're going to use Mendeley for this purpose, this is where Mendeley can actually help you a lot. So now you have your text, you start writing your literature review or your chapter 1, it doesn't matter. And now you need to start with your in-text citations. Now remember, wherever you put your cursor in your Word document, you're going to actually do a citation there. Okay, so it doesn't matter. You decide where you want to put your citations. Now, I'm just going to, in my first sentence, I'm going to do my first citation there. Okay? So I put my cursor right there. And remember, people, Mendeley is under references. And you have to download or install the MS Word plugin in order for you to have this under references. If you did not install the MS Word plugin, you won't be able to use this. Okay? Right. I've populated my Mendeley account. I have all my references that I'm going to use in my research. And now I'm going to start typing my article or my thesis. So I put my cursor there. I'm going to go to Insert Citation, okay, because I want to insert a particular citation there. So I'm going to click on Insert Citation. And I'm going to click on Go to Mendeley. Now, what's nice about Mendeley is you can go back to your Mendeley account and you can now locate your author that you want to cite there. So I'm going to go to Animal Sciences. I'm going to click on a particular author, anyone that I've selected, and I'm going to click on Cite. And there you can see it's my first citation. Right? There's my citation. So I'm going to do another citation. Okay? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to click on Insert Citation. I'm going to go to Mendeley, and I'm going to click on an author's name, and I'm going to do my second citation. Right, now let's do a third one. This one I'm going to do slightly different, okay? So I'm going to go back to Insert Citation, and here, if you know the author by name, if you know your research and you know the author within your Mendeley account, you can simply type in this search box a keyword, or you can type in the author. Now, if Hoffman was one of the authors in my research that I've been using, I can simply type in the name Hoffman, and whatever citation I want to do there, I can click on it and I click on OK. So now you can add all your citations within your Word document. Right, let's do one more. Right, so when you're done with your chapter 1, or whatever the case may be, it's Sunday night, 12 o'clock, you want to submit your article or your thesis, it's due by tomorrow. You're happy with all your citations, and now you want to insert your bibliography, okay, because you need to do that now. Right, so all your in-text citations are there, you're happy with it. All you need to do now is you go to your Insert Bibliography button there, and you just simply click on that, and there your references will appear. Okay, and that's it, people. So all the citations that you've put in your Word document, only those references will appear in your referencing list over there. And remember, I have selected Stellenbosch University Harvard style, so my referencing here is according to the Stellenbosch University Harvard style. Now, say for instance, you've done your thesis or whatever the case may be, and you want to publish this particular chapter in a research article, in a research journal. All you need to do is, when your supervisor tells you, listen here, that particular work I want you to publish in this journal, don't think that you have to redo everything. All you have to do is, if it's a different style, you go up here in your Word document, you go up there, and you simply select a different style, okay? So if it's American APA, the 6th edition, you simply select that, and your style will then change to that particular style that you need to do. Also, if I go back to my Mendeley, I can tell Mendeley here that I want a different style, and if I select Vancouver, I tell Mendeley that I want to use Vancouver. In my Mendeley account, I select that, and I go back to my Word document, and I go to More Styles. There's Vancouver. I select it, and there my whole document changed into numbers, because the Vancouver referencing style only uses numbers. Okay. Or I can go back and select Stellenbosch University. Right, so that's it, people. Any questions about any of the Mendeley?
Can you create your own styles or?
I wouldn't go that way. Okay. It's very difficult. On Mendeley itself, I think you should come to us. We can show you how to do that. Because if you go to a particular style, say for instance Stellenbosch University, Harvard. Let's use another one. View more styles. Then on the particular style, say for instance, the style that you want to use is very close to the nature one. So you select the nature one. On the nature one, you right click and you can edit that particular nature style. But from here onwards, it gets a little bit tricky. So that's why I say you must rather come to us that we can show you. So if the style that you want to edit is not, you've searched it under Get More Styles and it's not there, then you have to use something that is very, and mostly the Harvards are the one that is actually the basis of them all, or Vancouver or APA. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You're still going to show us the importance
Yes,
of
yes. Any other questions about Mendeley before we go to the RefWorks? Nobody? Okay, good. Right, so let's do for those of you who want to migrate from RefWorks to Mendeley, what I want you to do now is, it's just going to be 2 minutes, not going to be long. So go to the library website, and we're going to go to the library guides. So it's under Learning. On the library website, under Learning, we're going to go to Library Guides. And then here, we're going to go to RefWorks. And I'm just going to log in with my RefWorks account. Okay. So once everything is loaded within your RefWorks account, on your right-hand side, if you have all your references within the RefWorks and you don't have folders, say for instance you have 1,000 references in here, the best option to go for is to create folders on this side, so you have 20 or say 30 at most within these folders. So the important thing is rather to break them up instead of having a large document that you want to export. So whatever folder you have on your right-hand side now, you can simply right-click on that. Okay? So you right-click on your folder, and then you go to Export. And you use the first one, Bibliographic Software, EndNotes, Reference Manager, that particular one. So that's the format that you have to select. You click on that. And now you're going to get this list. Okay? So it depends on the browser that you're using. I'm using Firefox, so this is the format that Firefox is giving me. And now what you have to do is you have to save this particular page. So what you do is you go to that particular tab right up there. So you click on that, and you save that page there. Okay? Click on Save. And there you have your file name, so you leave it at that. You don't need to change it. You can leave it like that, and you simply save that. The important thing is that you know where you save your document. So I'm going to save it on the desktop here. I'm going to click on save. Yeah. Okay. So now I've saved that particular document. So what I do now is I go to my Mendeley. Okay. And you can then create a folder, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use the one for today. So there's my research week. Okay. Click on that. And then I go to file. So on file in your Mendeley desktop, you click on import. So click on the import button there. And on your right hand side, you can select the first one, BibTeX. Now here, it's very, very important. You'll notice that under BibTeX, you don't see any of the files that you've now downloaded. So what you have to do is click on that drop down there. And you select all files. Okay? Select all files. It's on my desktop. And there it is. So there is the file that I've downloaded from my RefWorks. And now simply you click on open. And once you click on open, your references should go into your Mendeley account. Now unfortunately, and this is a big unfortunately, you'll notice that if you have PDFs within your RefWorks account, it will not appear in here. So this is only the reference. Very unfortunately. But I think the reason behind it is also copyright. You can't export articles from one to another because of copyright. So only the references. What you can do in RefWorks to get your where's my RefWorks now? To get your PDFs is Hanley, just quickly help me. Go to search option there and advanced search. Go to search advanced search. This is if you have PDFs in your RefWorks. You go to search advanced search and then you can search anything here, whatever you want to, and you have to select here, where's that option? But we'll put this on the library guide, the migration guide, where you can search, because there's an option here that you can search for PDF articles, and when you search that particular, it will only search your, otherwise you have to go to all your references where the PDFs are available. And once you've searched that, then you can export, I think you can download the PDFs onto a flash drive or whatever the case may be, and upload it into Mendeley. And just remember, when you do that, you're actually going, in Mendeley, you're going to have a lot of duplicates, because you have exported all the references here, but no PDFs. So if you upload the PDFs now again, you're going to have duplicates, but you can actually go to Tools and check for duplicates there and delete the ones that you don't want. Okay? But there is those two options available, which I think is very straightforward. Okay, so the guide is available again. Yes.
So if you've uploaded it from RefWorks, in other words, you've got just the entry, you don't have the PDF. There's no way to just then upload the PDF and link it to that entry that exists.
Any other questions before we go?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes, that's what I wanted to do. On the library guide, okay, on the library website, there's a guide. So you go again to under Learning Library Guides. Hanley, I didn't see it here earlier. there should be a migration. I saw it at the back earlier. There is a migration guide, so migrating from Reefworks to Mendeley. It's on your left-hand side there. So somehow it doesn't appear on this one, but there is one, believe me. And you can go into that particular guide and just follow the procedures there. Okay?
Yusuf,
Yes.
can I just say something?
Yes.
to you? Thank you for your time
Hmm?
and effort coming here from the medical library. He's our knowledgeable person about Mendeley. We are part of the research week, so this section is also part of the research week. There is a prize to be won. If you would like to make a comment on the